Messages I am picking up for you guys is I feel almost as if you've got a lot of new people coming in, and this can pertain to like a new social circle, new coworkers. I do feel a lot of people like acquaintances coming in into your life, and I don't know why, but I feel almost as if you're not really sure how to handle them. You're not really sure, like in social situations, what you should do. So there's a little bit of confusion regarding communication with these new people. Um, what I'm seeing is a lot of them might be, you might want to be careful about people's motives and what kind of information you should be divulging or sharing with them. And you want to be sure that, everyone's got your best interests at heart. So be very close-lipped, I would say, about what's coming in or what's leaving, like in terms of information, gossip, and things like that. So just be very mindful of that. I do see some turning points when it comes to luck on the career front. It says turning point when it comes to luck. And that can be, like getting bonuses, getting some type of financial windfall coming through, getting positive reception on the work front. And it says turning point. So if you've been on riding high, I feel like it might be, a downturn, unfortunately. So just prepare for some type of I guess like it's a turnaround depending on which side of that wheel of fortune you've been on, okay? So I do sense as well some new luck coming through. If you've been waiting on something, we do have some prosperity coming through for you, okay? So it just depends on which side of the coin you're on. But the message I was hearing is some turning point on the financial sector, okay? So that can go both ways. Let me see if there are any other messages I'm picking up before we move into this spread. I do sense that there is going to be somebody very, very significant to your life, and I do feel this is more on the income sector that can provide. I feel like there might be some confusion regarding this person, but I do sense some clarity coming through for you, and relying on somebody who's a little bit more grounded for a sense of direction for the next phase in your life, or at least making very, very grounded practical decisions or some things that you are going to have to do for this month. It is really important to do that, okay? So let that sense of exploration, curiosity, childhood naivety, okay? I see a lot of like new people shifting around you, just back and forth, acquaintances, possibly new love interests as well. And I'm sensing that there might be a little bit of a temptation from your end to stray, possibly. So you want to be very, very mindful about that, okay? So like I said, go with the practical choices to mitigate potential disasters down the line. So aim for practicality and aim for the right things, I would say, like making the right choices and things like that. So let me see what's going on for you guys. And I apologize for the video up being a little bit late with the upload, okay? I was really swamped with work. All right, so Geminis, what's coming up here very, very early on is your emotional state, okay? We have the Eight of Cups and the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles usually denotes to me a very, very significant person that is in your life, okay? A lot of the times it could be conveyed as like this is like a karmic relationship, but I'm not getting so much a karmic vibe in this spread. What I am getting here is I feel like there might be a situation with another person that you have financial entanglements with, okay? And as a result of it, I do sense that a lot of you are moving away, shifting away from this situation into something else. A lot of you might be going your separate ways. A lot of you are finalizing some type of a financial entanglement. So you could dissolve a business partnership, you could dissolve a marriage that is built on financial entanglements, or you could just, decide to part ways. What I'm also sensing, and this is once again going back to that message regarding the work environment, I do see some type of a situation where where you are overcoming financial hurdles. So if you've been on the side where you have been struggling, drudging through and experiencing a lot of financial troubles, I do feel that for the next 2 months, things are really going to start to look up for you. There will be new opportunities when it comes to like work. For those of you who are waiting on it, I do sense that if you're waiting on work, I do feel August being a very, very good time. There are a lot of twos energies, and that denotes to me, I do sense as well that for a lot of you, you are looking at new ways, and you are basically expanding your skill set. You are thinking about enhancing, going back to school, trying to learn something, trying to pick up new skills, or trying to find creative ways to generate income. So the pentacle suit usually indicates something like a traditional way to generate money. I do sense walking away from this situation with the Eight of Cups denotes finding a new creative venture that you can pour your heart and your soul in order to generate some income. So we have some very, very new creative and, financially. Now, in terms of, once again, we do have communications and work as well. It's very, very work focused. So let's talk about this situation. We have the Eight of Swords and the Two of Wands. Um, Now, in terms of communication between you and a very, very significant other, or a person that you have a very close interpersonal relationship with, I feel like messages and things like that are not getting through between one person and the other. Um, I feel like you're working at cross purposes with each other, and you might be, you are an air sign and you are very, very articulate. But I do sense there is definitely communication blockages where where words are being exchanged, but the main understanding is not there. Okay, so I would say try to take a step back and reapproach this situation around the second half of this month. After the 15th or so, I do sense this energy alleviating. And it's saying to me around the 14th, I do see some major breakthroughs coming in, okay? What I'm feeling is, I feel like for a lot of you, so you're an air sign, so I'm going to read this as you. A lot of you are possibly in a long distance relationship with another person. And I feel almost as if one person is in the relationship and, sustaining the relationship, and the other person is like out doing their own thing, out possibly living their life like a bachelor. I feel like somebody, one person or the other, is being kept in the dark about something, like some information is missing. Somebody's whereabouts comes up strongly for me. Some information is not being relayed, and one partner is missing all the information, while the other partner is pulling the weight of that entire relationship. So this is going to apply for those of you, especially in a long distance relationship, where you're not communicating on a regular basis. A lot of information is getting lost in translation. A lot of time goes by between, an inquiry and a response. So there's like lack of information, lack of cooperation is what I'm sensing. Feeling a little bit potentially neglected, forgotten by your partner. I do sense that the feelings flow mutually, and I do feel for those of you in a relationship and you're really, really trying your best, you might feel like the partner. So if you feel like you're the one trying to maintain, the relationship for the both of you, and if you feel like you've also been kept in the dark about this situation, try to explore this and get to the root of it. And I do feel after the 14th of this month, especially 14th, 15th or so, the second half of the month, this situation will get resolved, okay? What I'm also sensing is this is going to apply for a few. There's a sense of unrequited love. I don't know if it's coming in from you or coming in from somebody external to you. I do sense it's like somebody is yearning after another person and the other person has no idea. So if you're in that situation, it is really important for you to, say what's on your mind. I feel like there's this overwhelming sense of, I'm looking at this and I'm reading the picture. Like this man, this person is yearning after somebody, and this person has no idea. So I definitely sense like almost like this feeling of being stuck between a hard place and a rock, not knowing where to turn. And I would say that the channel of communication for this month is going to be of the utmost importance for you. open that gate for communication, okay? It's going to solve a lot of the problems. So whatever is on your mind that you're thinking about, whoever it is that you're trying to reach out to, they have no idea. So it's kind of in your best interest to really reach out and say your piece, okay? A lot of the times as an air sign, and I understand with a lot of Geminis and Aquarius, Libras are a little bit better at handling this energy, but you guys tend to overthink. So in the process of, just constantly overthinking, overanalyzing, you're not really doing anything. And then you always think about best case scenarios, worst case scenarios, and then everything in between. And you do it so fast that like as soon as you get up, work up the courage to do something, you talk yourself out of it. So it's really good for you this time around to, not overthink rather than overthinking. Act. Okay. So I guess the element that is productive for you, because you're an air sign, you tend to overthink, and you overthink yourself into a circle, into like this prison. The way to break out of this is to act like the fire signs, which is, they're a little bit more action oriented. So that would be the best way, I feel, to get yourself out of this. Okay. What's coming in in terms of, once again, communication strategy here? We do have the Queen of Swords and the Alchemist, which is the Magician. So the way that your energy is being projected, so this is the way that other people are seeing you. You're coming across as the Queen of Swords. So regardless of your gender, this is the energy that you are embodying for this month. Excuse me. And the Queen of Swords is somebody that could potentially, she is very, this is an energy of a person who's very, very astute, very observant, very intelligent, and very decisive, okay? She doesn't mince words. So I feel that your communication might be very, very succinct this month. The people you might be dealing with might have, hidden agendas, ulterior motives, and things like that. So it's really important for you to flush out the truth. But the thing about the Queen of Swords is that, aim to be a little bit more delicate in your interactions with other people, because I feel like for a lot of you, you might have a preconceived notion of what the other person's all about. And the magician is somebody that he feels as if he's got it all figured out. And at the same time, your sword is drawn, you've got your defenses up, you've got your guard up. So it's really hard for other people to approach you, okay? So this is a really good energy if you had to do like a lot of research, if you had to write essays, if you had to like think in a very clear, concise manner, almost like in a very pragmatic, rational manner, like a robot. If you had to, do some heavy duty thinking, writing, analysis, this is a great energy supported for it. So if you're in any of those fields, it's good for you. But if you're in the capacity where you are trying to, I guess, foster new relationships and, socially network and network also professionally, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, okay? On the one hand, people really respect your expertise, and people really want you to hear what you have to say, because I feel like you come with a lot of skills, okay? But for some reason, I feel like you're not really into mingling. You're not really into bantering. You just want to get the facts straight, and then you want to retreat back into, more of the me alone time. So I feel like this is an energy that can be tempered down just a little bit. Both of these cards indicate to me that for a lot of you, you might be dealing with somebody who is classically considered like the bachelor. You might be dealing with somebody who has a lot of options on their plates, who is very, very intelligent, who is, like you're meeting somebody who's got the total package, okay? And I feel like you are admiring this person. And I feel like you're trying to find a way to um, insert yourself into this person's life, but I feel like they are caught up with other things, okay? And he's preoccupied with something else. He or she is preoccupied with something else. And I feel like it might sting a little bit, okay? And in addition, we do have the Two of Wands, which is, a relationship card, but there's only one person here. So I definitely feel there is a sense of neglect in relationships. There's also a sense almost as if we're feeling out of touch with our emotions as well. We can't have a really strong emotional connection with another person because they, like you, might be an air sign that you're dealing with, or they might exhibit the qualities of an air sign where they're very practical, logical, cerebral, and not a lot of emotions are being, revealed. Okay, so just be mindful about that. Communication goes a long way. And take a step back. Wait until the second half of this month um, before you can, like get that gateway open. What I'm also sensing is, I feel for a lot of you, I feel like, I don't feel like someone is stalking you. I don't get that fatal, sense. I do feel like someone might be, for example, if you've applied for a job, someone might be digging into your past history. Someone might be calling your references. So I feel like someone is digging into your past. Someone is looking at you from afar or researching you from afar. Um, Once again, be very, very careful. Do things in the right manner because I feel like some things that you want to leave alone might be exposed if you're not on the up and up. Okay, so be mindful about that. I see like more of a secretive energy. Someone is trying to dig for some information. Okay. Now, in terms of love and passion, we do have the Ace of Wands as well as the Three of Pentacles. So both of these cards indicates a situation that has got you very, very fired up, okay? So let's talk about this in terms of passion. You are dealing with a situation where potentially you are interested in somebody, but they might not be completely single. Okay, so just be very, very careful about that. Figure out do some research if you need to in order to make sure you know where you're headed. On the other hand, in terms of like work and finances, I definitely feel a lot of opportunities are coming through for you. So the Three of Pentacles is what I call the apprentice card. And it usually indicates a situation where we have to upgrade our skills. We have to undergo some additional training. And as a result of attending a training seminar, taking a seminar course or a training course, we are prime for new career opportunities. We are primed for new projects falling on our laps, okay? This is also a card about expanding your current work situation. So for example, you could potentially be taking on a lot more clients. You can be taking on a lot more projects, a lot more responsibilities. But these are good, basically career enhancement moves that you are doing for yourself, mainly because I do see a lot of people are seeking you for your skills and your expertise. And they are also seeking you, headhunting you for potentially new work projects as well. So it's overly just seems very, very positive to me. A lot of you might be interested in somebody that you're working with, like somebody that is in your work environment, somebody that you're working with, okay? Um, be careful, once again, office romances, and also try to do things in the correct manner, or try to do things in a upfront manner, because I do sense there's somebody digging into your past, or somebody digging up some information, unearthing some information. Okay, so what I'm sensing though is like there's this first of all, there's this long distance relationship that a lot of you might be in, and then you're feeling some type of attraction towards somebody that you could potentially be working with. So I feel like you're straddling two worlds here, and the main thing is I do sense that you're not going to succumb to it. I feel that a lot of you are drawing back your energy and focusing it towards your own life, your own goals, and your own work, which is great, because I feel like that's what you should be doing. That's how to, draw back your energy and not get so scatterbrained, scatter thoughts and scatter your resources here and there. Okay, so that's a good way. Draw it back in and focus on the work front. Now, in terms of your advice, we do have some very, very good cards. Two major arcana. We do have the Judgment card, which indicates to me major, major milestones, major crossroads, and new beginnings. All of these look very, very positive to me. So I definitely see a new direction that you are headed towards, okay? A lot of you are bound for financial stability because what's coming right behind it is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is kind of like almost, she's kind of like the person that is almost there, because the apex would be the King of Pentacles, which is, you know, someone who can generate money, someone who can give other people advice as to how to generate money. But when we are ending with the Queen of Pentacles, I feel for a lot of you, you have made it. You have achieved that state where you are not in dire strait regarding your finances, okay? So there is a major, major, major turnaround when it comes to work and finances. A lot of you could be in a position, you might have been training for a supervisory management position and now you're there. This is indicates to me upper management, but it also just denotes generally financial stability, okay? A lot of you as well, I do feel for those of you who are dating an earth sign, so Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo, there might be a solidification of a love relationship, okay? Taking the relationship to the next level, seeking stability in the relationship. I do feel this situation might, this is something that you might be at a crossroads about. And for a lot of you, it might have already happened. First 2 weeks or so, you might have formed some type of a solid plan with this earth sign. On the other hand, I feel like others of you might be at a crossroads, whether or not you are ready to take this next step, okay? But either way, I do feel an earth sign figuring very, very prominently in your life for this month for a lot of you Geminis. And this can be sun, moon, or rising. And what I'm sensing is this is somebody that is very well respected, very practical, and I don't see a lot of budging with this person. I do see financial abundance comes in when they come in, when they come into your life. Okay, so they bring with them a lot of financial abundance, a lot of stability back into your life. And I do sense that if you know, if this sounds familiar and you feel like, oh, this is someone I know, they give very, very solid advice. So if ever you're in a little bit of a funk and you don't know which way to turn, I do sense that they are going to give you very, very solid advice for all areas of your life, not just for your financial state. So let's see what's going on for you guys for love and relationships. So I think it's going to be a very positive month for you guys, Geminis. So the first card out here at the center of the spread, we do have the Hangman. And the Hangman is in the reverse position. So a lot of you are getting ready for something. A lot of you are no longer stuck in limbo, wondering what ifs. A lot of you are just kind of out there making a move in your love life, okay? You're no longer left in suspension. You're no longer waiting on another person, and I don't feel that you are going to be in a position where you're putting your love life like on hold for another person is what I'm sensing here. Okay, so let me see if there's anything that I need to clarify. Okay, so first of all, once again, we do have the Hangman, and let me show you this card. And what he was looking at is the Ace of Cups here. I feel that for a lot of you, there is a major, major turning point in a love relationship, okay? And I do sense that if you've been dealing with someone who might have been a little bit conniving, who might have given you the runaround, is what I'm sensing. Somebody's given you the runaround, and you were kind of like putting your life on hold in the hopes that this relationship was going to develop. I feel that for a lot of you, there might be a realization that comes in sometime this month that you can no longer live your life expecting the other person to come around or expecting the other person to be what you want them to be, okay? So I do sense almost like somebody is giving you the runaround, and as a result of it, you are escaping from this limbo and you are emerging from this state of waiting in suspense and waiting in suspension as well. So you're taking charge of your love life and you're no longer letting that person from the past affected. So a lot of you might have, in the past, okay, might have reconciled with somebody that you had a very, very strong, significant relationship with. And, you know, when the Ace of Cups shows up in the reverse, it usually indicates somebody that we love greater, like a love that is greater than ourselves. So I do feel there was a lot of emotions, a lot of raw feelings, emotions involved here. And this is somebody that, you know, that you can honestly say to yourself, like, I want them to be happy, even if it's not with me. So I feel like a lot of you were dealing with this love situation. um, I'm sensing as well there might have been some recent reconciliation with that person, but now the same pattern is repeating where you might have put them first, but they might not have always put you first, okay? So it does hurt. It does hurt. And I do sense for others of you who are newly single, I sense that a lot of you have recently started socially dating, like dating online, going out, meeting people, letting other people into your life. You might have gone through a series of, you know, just people, but I don't feel anybody really, really stuck out for you. I don't feel anybody really catching your interest or igniting that sense of passion in you. Okay, so this was in the past. I do sense that you haven't given up because I do sense you're still moving on forward with it. What's coming in as well is in the foundation, we do have the Eight of Cups in the reverse. The Eight of Cups, this is like emotionally checking out from a situation, walking away from something that you've invested a lot of time in. In the reverse, it seems like with the coupled with the Wheel of Fortune, something keeps coming back around. Something keeps coming back into your life. And you know, it's one thing to have something cycle back in. It's another thing to allow it to come back in. So I want you all to be very, very careful. If you've got somebody that has given you the runaround, and that's the expression that they chose to deliver. So if it seems familiar, then you know, try to remove yourself from this situation, because I feel like you're in good stead, and if you look towards the future rather than the past, you're going to be a lot happier. So I definitely feel an emotionally charged situation, an emotionally charged person is coming back into your life, and you have a choice whether or not you want to let them in. What's crowning this reading here is the conflict card. And when it shows up in the reverse position, it's basically freeing yourself from inner conflict. I feel like a lot of you are not opening that door for the person to come back in. So this is basically freeing yourself from that, you know, even having to make that choice, freeing yourself from re-engaging with them in a very unhealthy way. So a lot of you might be going through a phase of just giving them the total silent treatment. A lot of you might have realized that, oh, this situation is very conflictual, so I'm just going to leave it alone. Others of you might be finding new ways to compromise with an old relationship partner, okay? But I do sense that you're looking at life from a different perspective, and I feel like a lot of you are taking charge of your love life again, so you're not going to let the past energy affect you. Now, what's coming in for you as well? We do have the Six of Wands in the reverse position, coupled with the Empress. I definitely feel what I'm sensing here is there is somebody that you are very, very attracted to. Okay, so in the mundane sense, I'm just going to say there is somebody that you feel, you know, is a great caretaker, is a very, very beautiful, attractive, magnetic person, and it can be male or female, because the Empress usually indicates, you know, like the physical attractiveness. So masculinity, femininity, it wouldn't matter, because I do sense this is the epitome of the masculine sign, that feminine sign, depending on whatever gender you're dating. So what I feel is there is somebody that is posing a little bit as a temptation for you. And I feel that for a lot of you, you might choose to let the situation go, even though you are incredibly attracted to them. If they have been giving you the runaround, I feel that you're cutting them loose. On the other hand, if there is a person around you, they might have many, many suitors, is what I'm sensing. They might have many suitors, and you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to end up with an empty victory. I don't want just a pretty face. I want a little bit more substance, a little bit more compatibility, and I want somebody who is going to be around. So I definitely feel that situation coming through as well. For others in a coupled relationship, and if you are thinking about, having children and things like that, I feel like there might be some combative energies. So, when it comes to like, I guess for lack of a better term, making children, making babies, or procreation, when it comes to like two people coming together in order to have a child, I feel that emotionally and mentally, you definitely have to be on the same page, okay? So I feel like if you have been trying to get pregnant and for some reason you haven't had success, one of the things I would say is make sure energetically and spiritually you're on the same page, okay? So really have this discussion with your partner and really flush out whether or not you both are on the same page, because I feel like some energetic misalignment happening here that might make things a little bit challenging for you to get pregnant. And I feel like I said, it's mentally, emotionally, you have to be on the same page. You have to make sure you both want to have the child. But I feel like there's some mismatch on an energetic level that's preventing that from happening. And it's showing up here with the Empress, Six of Wands as the victory card, and also the Five of Swords in the reverse, which is an empty victory. So I do sense, for others of you, I feel like if you are coupled or single, I feel there is a sense of temptation. I do sense some temptation around you. Somebody is very, very attractive, possibly very fertile, very young, is what I'm sensing. Someone very fertile, very young coming into your life. And I do sense that you are attracted to this person. You're trying to do the right thing, Gemini, so I commend you for that. You're trying to do the right thing, but I do feel that this person coming in is putting a wrench in the works. So whatever you thought was the right thing, I do sense that they're kind of challenging you, not upright or like overtly, but I do sense like a lot of your resolve is starting to waver and you're really not sure. So you don't succumb to temptation. Try to do things on the up and up. And I feel that we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So I do sense, the Wheel of Fortune is basically actions and consequences. So just make sure you try to do the right thing, okay? Relationships, for those in a coupled or a marriage situation, it tends to be a little bit rocky, and I do sense that, compromise is going to be really important for you. A lot of the things that you have already swept under the rug in the past, I do feel they are coming up for reexamination. And I feel like for a lot of you, you might realize that you might not have very much in common with the person that you're dating, aside from that physical attraction, aside from feeling that, wow, they're really beautiful and wonderful. I do sense new options are coming through for you. So you might reconsider. And I feel like that's more for the singles and the ones that are not in a serious relationship. So the ones that are in a relationship, try to compromise. And I feel that that's going to help you stabilize your relationship, okay? There is some temptation in the midst with you or your partner, but I don't feel it's anything major. I feel like everyone is trying to do the right thing here. So I do wish you the best for this month, Gemini. Once again, sorry for the delay in your video. If you like a private reading, please visit my website in the description box below. And I'll talk to you soon. I'll be back for the mid-month reading. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.